All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to another paranormal news. I'm actually trying an experiment. I'm trying my other computer because it seems like my main laptop, the camera's too bright or something. I don't know what's going on it. But I'm going to try it on here, so hopefully everything goes well. I appreciate some of you that are here. I see Bigfoot Anon, Pumped, Sandra Piper. I see Terry Brown. And hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully there's no glitches. Just trying a different little camera. You know, cameras is everything, right? It just seems like the other videos I'm too bright. Some reason, I don't know. So I don't know what happened. But beyond that, guys, what is paranormal news? It's where we go to each category. We go to the Bigfoot community. We go into the UFOs, paranormal, and we look at some videos. We discuss it with ourselves, myself and the chat. I'll give you my opinion, and you guys in the chat give your opinion. That's how it works. It's nice and simple and all that. So I appreciate every single one of you guys today. I know the weekend's coming, and hopefully you guys are going to have a great weekend, a safe weekend. You know, we want to make sure you guys have a safe weekend. And what the hell? Let's just jump on over to the Bigfoot. Let's get this sucker started. All right, let's do it now. All right, now guys, make sure we don't forget to hit that like button. I noticed my show yesterday, I only got like 24 likes or something for whatever reason. I'm guessing that half of you hated the crap. If you hated it, that's fine. You know, you're allowed to hate videos and stuff. If you didn't like the show yesterday, you don't have to put that thumbs up. But if you did like it, if you do like today, make sure you hit that thumbs up. They say it helps your channel out. I don't know. You know, so, you know, we'll see how it goes. Now, this first one is actually pretty good. You guys all know that I like videos on some museums. And part of the reason is it's fascinating how many Bigfoot museums there really are out there. I mean, it's fascinating because when you got museums, that means you got people coming in. It's great for the community. It's great for everybody. It's getting that information that's out there. So it's always fantastic. And when I see different museums, I like to do shout outs because they deserve it. You know, they're putting their own money in their own pocket into a museum that, you know, a lot of people in this society kind of chuckles at, kind of makes fun of. So this one is actually Bigfoot Art Gallery, Palmer, Alaska, for Alaska News. This is not exactly a museum. It's a guy who bought this art gallery, but one of his passion for art is actually inspired by the Bigfoot. And I love that when people are inspired and they're inspired. Not, you know, you always hear, I'm inspired of the astronaut. I'm inspired. That actor, that athlete inspired me. All right, great. A lot of great athletes inspires you. Okay, great. The actor inspired you. He got lucky, making millions of dollars. So now he inspires you. Great. If Will Smith is the one that makes you be a better person, then fuck it. The French Prince, I guess he's all right in my book. But when you see people that say they're inspired by the Bigfoot or paranormal or even UFOs and Mandela effect, that's something special. That takes guts. So let's check this first video out.
When Rob Roy Menzies steps into work,
Here.
it's about precision.
Dun, 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 dun. There we go.
Framing and matting is his bread and butter ever since he took over the shop and learned the craft from Pam Strand.
He can just automatically go for the right colors. And that's just an incredible
Lay
talent.
this down right here.
Because some people want to put terrible colors on things. And if they do, we ask them to not tell anybody where they had it done.
That's right.
But the other side of the business,
Bigfoot Art Gallery. This is Rob. Can I help you?
you'll feel like you're walking into a whole nother world.
Well, this is Big George. Now, Big George, I had to have, being in that I own the Bigfoot Art Gallery, I figured I had to have something. He's quite a character. He's kind of cranky. So don't get too close to him.
He's only run the Bigfoot Art Gallery and his new framing and matting business for a few months, but it sure does draw the eye.
He gets people in all the time that just say, oh, I saw the sign, and I just had to stop and see.
This guy? Well, this is Mr. Cro-Magnon Man. Now, this guy's pretty cool.
He's an artist.
That's awesome.
From the picture to the frame.
Pretty much my whole life. My little niche has been Bigfoot illustrations. What I do is just try to have fun with it and just getting out and exploring Alaska, taking pictures, and then, you know, putting Bigfoots into them.
Since he was little, he enjoyed thinking about monsters, dinosaurs, mysterious creatures.
I've never seen one, but I just love the whole thing. It's just fascinating to me. So I just enjoy listening to the stories. I'm pretty open-minded to the idea. I don't believe everything I hear, but I think there's certainly something out there.
It's frames and fantasy.
The day it is found, then it won't be any fun anymore, will it?
That's a good point, right?
We
That's a
found
good
you.
point.
Sorry.
And Rob's going to fit in just fine.
In a new picture-perfect business.
He's going to be the
Even
man.
Bigfoot will fit in just fine.
You got a good point, right? If Bigfoot is found, and you know, once the question of all questions has been answered, you know, what would be next? You know, I mean, it's funner in a lot of ways to talk about the mysterious mystique of the Bigfoot, but if you know he's already real, I mean, we know he's real, but I mean, I'm talking about real, DNA, everything, just real. Would that take some of the elements out? Will people still be intrigued? It's an interesting question, and I love what the guy he said. You know, I love his honesty. You know, I've never seen one. You know, I know not all the stories are true, but he knows they're out there. He knows some of the truth is out there, and that's all you ask for from people. That is all what you can ask for from people. Just to be able to have an open mind. You don't have to believe everything you hear. You know, I always tell you that, you know, when we look at videos here, you know, sometimes I say I don't think that one's real, but it's not that I don't want the Bigfoot to be real, but I'm not going to sit here and say every footage is real. I always say this. You only need one actual real footage to prove your point, and that's it. So what do you guys think? Not a lot of us live in Alaska. Maybe Iron Dogger, when she goes back to Alaska, I wonder if she's actually been there. You know, I guess that would be a question. I don't see her in the chat. I only see 10 of us today. Wow. I guess people don't like. I guess people don't like the lone wolf. The lone wolf when I'm by myself. That's fine. Smaller crowds are funner because we could get more personal and stuff with the chat and all that when you have a big group. And this next video is interesting. This is like, how am I going to say it? Old school footage of interviews back in 1971. People in the past. It's easy to do interviews nowadays, of course. Social media, YouTube, camera, phones, you know, but you know, it's harder to, you know, back in the day of doing actual video footage interviews. You know, you got to have the equipment. You got to have stuff. You know, you got to have people carrying the equipment. You know, the equipment is not carrying back of your pants or your purse. You know, so sometimes I like seeing the past because to move forward in the future, you got to know the past. You got to know all stories. So it's kind of interesting to see these few people from 1971 to tell their Bigfoot encounters. And I hope you guys have the same passion as I do. You know, I know some people only want what had just happened as yesterday and forward. You know, that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. Oh man, Terry Brown, you're my man. Come on, I love that. It's always fun being hard on yourself. You guys actually know, when I'm done with the show, I can't not watch a show that I'm in when I'm done. I can't. I don't know why. I can't watch myself. I know sometimes I'll play an old video, sometimes on a Saturday, but I'll be in the comment. But sometimes I'll turn the volume off because there's something about listening to yourself. I think it's natural for everybody, right? You're always hard on yourself. You know? And sometimes my wife goes, oh, I want to play your video. Nope, you can't play it. I'll turn off the TV because I just can't. When I'm done, I'm done. I don't know. I think a lot of people are like that, in my opinion. But let's check out this video.
The car, I heard this whomping sound, and that's why I thought I had a flat. But I couldn't understand because we just put new tires on, and I could have been making a noise or beating on his chest or the pole. It was only about probably 1 foot from the pole.
You hear, in this area, you hear noises at night, I understand.
Oh, yeah.
There
Lots
aren't
of
cougar
noises.
noises, there aren't bear noises.
No. There's no noise to describe it, really, because I just never heard anything like it. Cougars don't make that noise. Bears don't. Elk or moose or whatever else around.
Something else is out there.
There's something else out there, okay. And it's not just at night, it's in the daytime too, because they've been hearing them day, night, evening, mornings, even high noon.
Do you see things? Is it just the noise?
Noises mostly, other than when I seen this creature down there. It's below Beacon Rock. There's a real wide shoulder just as you go across the bridge, and I just pulled up. I just knew I had a flat, but I couldn't understand. So I got out, and I always keep my right door locked. I get out on the left, and I go around with my back to the woods, and I look up and under my car, around the wheel, no flat. So I feel up in there, and while I'm feeling, I suddenly turn around and I'm face to face with him. I mean, it just felt like there was something staring at me, is why I looked.
And you were face to face with?
Eye to eye, just about 15 feet from me.
What was it?
I don't know. As far as I know, I suppose it'd be Bigfoot, but he was the biggest animal I've ever seen.
I don't know about you guys. I'm intrigued. I'm always intrigued because you got to look at the times. It's easier. It really is a lot easier. Even though it's hard, it is a lot easier to talk about your paranormal and your Bigfoots because there's a lot of people out there, like on YouTube especially. You know, all of you great people in the chat. All of you great people. But think about 71 and stuff. You know, you're really taking a chance coming out and talking about this because I guarantee you, when people saw this, she's probably considered a nut, a crazy, and she probably don't get the support that some people get now. Even with people who said they will support you, and you find out when the shit hits the fan, they don't really support you. So stuff like this inspires me in different ways, saying, wow, you know, she's taking a chance. And she's explaining that, I like, you know, she says she's hearing the sounds. You know, it's not necessarily seeing the big creature in front of you, but it's the sounds. Let's hear a little bit more of this.
The monster that Mrs. Baxter saw was 12 feet tall, as tall as these bushes behind me. Her story is similar to dozens of others told every year in this area about people who got fleeting glimpses of the Bigfoot.
Well, the first thing we do naturally is sort of check on the people themselves. You have a lot of people who see things all the time. So before we really get serious about one of these reports, we assure ourselves that they're responsible people. And then our second step is to find out what they saw.
You've got a lot of experience as a reporter. What's your attitude about Sasquatch?
Well, I've been investigating these reports and so on, and it seems to me that there's a preponderance of evidence, and I'm, let's say, 95, 98% that there is such an animal. I want to see one, but I think there is.
You don't get that a lot from reporters saying one, and I like what he said. You know, back in the day, when they do these kind of interviews, they got to make sure that the people that they're interviewing are, you know, they're not crazy. You know, they're good, solid people. So you can say that, you know, I kind of talk about this a little bit on a Chad Smith podcast a little bit yesterday when a person brought up about the media and all that. And I said there was a time that newspapers and stuff, even magazines, that when they do articles and stories, there was a time that they had to make sure their sources were spot on. I mean, if they don't have a good source, you know, their story is not getting released. you know, they actually have a lot of editors and true, I guess, gatekeepers in some way. And I'm not saying they're hiding the truth or not. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying their source has to be pretty good before even a story comes out. Nowadays, you can put a story out anywhere without anybody checking, you know that. I watched saying, Dan, did that group like to yell? I think there were two-faced fist blown. I wanted to smack at least one of them. I told you, Terry. I told Terry that I did this. I was on a podcast and I was telling people that I was trying to do a decent interview and all that, and it just went kaplooey. It just went. Everybody started yelling, and then all that, and you know, I timed out. Actually, in the long run, in that video, Terry, I timed out the wrong person. In the long run, Citrus Red, he's actually he's actually a fantastic person. The other group are the ones that are smucks, the ones that backstab channels, and they're the ones who part of that one person on that video yesterday, Terry, is one of the groups that's responsible for my name change. Just so you know. So, you know, I actually made an apology to the kid that I actually had to keep putting him in timeout because nobody was allowing each other to talk. And I always had a problem with that. You have to allow each other to talk and all that. And Terry, don't worry, there's another video that a reversal had to happen on another one talking about 5G conspiracy. And one of them, I had to time them out. And that's when the tide has changed. They're like, whoa, you timed me out? And that one person was being the jackass. And I try to be equal, try to be fair. If you're going to be a jackass, I'm going to time you out. I don't care what side I lead on or what side who I friend. Being fair is being fair. It's I forgot the exact title. It was something about the 5Gs, and there's a conspiracy about 5Gs that I don't. It's 5G conspiracy because I used to work in the cable company. We used to do fiber to the 4G towers, 3G, and a lot of the conspiracies about the 5G is flat out false and wrong. And in this video, holy shit. So Terry, I'll try to get you that other video. If you like that kind of fight, you got to see this other one too. It was about 5G towers, and it got very heated. Sorry about that, guys. Actually, guys, what I'm going to do is most of this is talking like this. So I'll put the link after the show's done so you can watch the whole, like, it's like 7-8 minutes. But I'm always fascinated with older interviews and stuff because I think that it's important to learn the past to move over. That Scott dude, whooping him, I would never get to that idiot's channel. Apologies if I'm offering anyone except that dude. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I told you that was a fighting show. That, man, I mean, after that section, the rest of the video was actually a pretty good conversation. Doesn't matter what side you fall on. But in that beginning of that show, that first 30 minutes, holy shit, I thought everybody was going to bail out. I mean, that was just, it's hard to explain, people. It's hard to explain, but it happened. That video happened. It was my early days, and I actually learned a lot from going through that kind of a process when things are just not going right. And let me tell you, I had people, you're not hosting it right. You're not doing this right. Well, what? He's like, okay, I'm not doing it right. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not hosting that show right. Okay, listen, I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. Maybe I could have done that episode better, probably, but it was just such a fuck. I don't know, man. but it was worth a watch. For entertainment purposes, it was worth a watch. So beyond that, guys, let's move on over to the paranormal. Let me find the intro here. All right. Northwest Paranormal Investigators shock video of latest sighting. So there's actually going to be I got two great. The second paranormal video you're going to want to watch. You want to see a full-blooded skeptic. The second video is going to have a full-blooded skeptic. I mean, I'm talking about we're going to have some conversations about that skeptic. But let's check out this first video first.
Well, tonight we're diving into the world of the paranormal with an investigation into Little Rock's natural resources area.
Of all places, the home of the state crime lab is bound to have a few spirits lingering around. But Claire Kreitz shows us Sweet and Sour Paranormal uncovered the stories buried below the surface.
Beneath the surface.
A full moon shines on the Arkansas State Crime Lab, the home of investigations into unexpected deaths across the state. Just as this paranormal group begins their investigation into what
I saw a full body ghost walk right underneath that tree.
Or who
There's a Danny.
could be hiding around the corner.
Ever during an investigation.
And you just saw one?
Just saw it. Like, yes.
Sweet and Sour Paranormal was called by a family who lives in a home that backs up to the state after they experienced a few things that just couldn't be explained.
That's where I was when I saw the bottle of cleaner. It had been on the counter up against the backsplash. I looked up and it's sitting upright in the middle of the kitchen floor.
It didn't take long for these paranormal hunters.
Will you touch the ball for me and make the light shine up again?
Thank you.
To start experiencing the supernatural themselves.
Hello, how are you? It shook your hand.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Give Michelle a hug. Oh, there you go, touching your hand again. Holy crap. Oh, where'd he go? You turned towards it and oh my. It gave you a hug.
Yeah.
Michelle Martindale is the clairvoyant of the group and says the spirits just want to share their story.
I'd like to know if they know anything about the little one, or like the little voice that it sounded like a little one's voice. Let me put it that way.
Billy. Billy's the name. That's all I know right now.
While some of those can be traced back to the crime lab, others are buried underground before this building ever existed. The year is 1883, and the Arkansas Lunatic Asylum just opened its doors off Markham.
Into that mix, you also throw folks who were suffering from addiction. You had drug addicts, you had alcoholics.
State historian David Ware says mental health care was not at the place it is today, meaning the asylum was constantly overcrowded.
When you have hundreds of people confined, you're going to have deaths, of course, and they were simply buried on the grounds.
As the asylum expanded and became the state hospital, those bodies needed to move.
At some point in the 20th century, most of the graves were relocated to a site further out Markham Street.
Now known as the Natural Resources Area.
Something like 4,000 burials were relocated out to that area.
By the 1970s, this area was growing rapidly, and again, the graves needed to move.
But approximately 1,500 to 2,000 of the burials were left in place.
Walking through the grass, some grave markers still remain. A monument also stands remembering the generations of unclaimed mental patients laid to rest.
Talking to this device as loud as you can for us. We're going to ask you some questions.
As Sweet and Sour finishes this investigation,
Are they okay with us being here?
Oh, absolutely.
they leave this family with a better understanding of the souls lingering in the shadows.
Is it over?
All right. Bad storms here. Internet keeps going out. Oh, that sucks, man. That sucks. Now, Terry, if you want to see another video, just go to my channel. It's called Gypsy Road and the Temple of 5G Network. And basically, let's just say that video was the video that basically ended my any relationship or friendship of people who were just too far into the truth movement, truthers. That was the video that just, where you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about. That's a doozy too. That's a doozy. Major yelling fight, and wasn't supposed to happen that way. Man, Terry, I got to do a break. No, you know what? I'll tell you what, Terry. One day next week, I'm going to play some parts of the 5G one, and I'm going to tell you the real story behind it. There's some backstabbing that went on, and that was the video that I ended my relationship friends. Not even friends. That they were just too far crazy, too far left, too wacko that I didn't want to be part of. So maybe I'll do something. maybe I'll do a video of that video because there's more to it than that first big yelling fight. Beyond that, I'm sorry, guys. That was a pretty good video right there. Not a whole lot to talk about. Another investigation now, but guys, I really want to get into this next video because this is a skeptic. This fucking guy is a skeptic to the max, and this is a kind of a long video that I don't usually really do. It is about 7-8 minutes. I probably won't play the whole 7 minutes. We'll stop it here and there. This guy's name is James Underdown, skeptic investigator of the paranormal. And apparently he was like one of the producers of the Amityville horror movies. And you want to talk about skeptic. This guy is a skeptic. You'll see what I'm talking about.
God's peace in this house.
That is from the 1979 classic Amityville Horror about an allegedly haunted house. It's a good example of a story that many people believe is true simply because it's been told so many times. Jim Underdown's team investigates stories like these, but he's not a ghost hunter. He's really the opposite of that.
He is a skeptic, and he is the executive director of the Center for Inquiry in Los Angeles, where he tries to show people the errors of belief in pseudoscience and the paranormal.
I apologize. Yeah, he wasn't director of the movie, but just listen to the skeptic guy. Just listen to him.
Hey, thanks for being with us.
Hey, Jim.
It's great to be here. Great to be here.
So,
I had to laugh at your story earlier. Would you buy a house?
Would you buy a house that they said was haunted?
Well, you hear these stories all the time about people. Oh, I'll give you $1,000 if you can spend the whole night in this haunted. I would do it for an Italian beef and a Diet Pepsi. The ghosts never show up. When we get there, the ghosts are gone. So
what about all these ghost hunter shows where we see they have these meters and all this stuff? What is that? I like those shows.
I know, but all this gear,
Is that all garbage?
Well, I mean, the gear is real. It measures electromagnetic fields. It measures heat. It does all this stuff. But who's to say that's a ghost? It's just measuring other stuff, and they're saying that means that's a ghost.
But who says it's not a ghost either? I mean, this guy goes after. This guy bashes every single thing about it. Hold on. So sorry for pulling off us tracks. Well, Terry, this is an open show. We're all friends here. We're all friends here. This is what happened. We're all friends here. It's cool.
Ghost, and it's not.
Well, the other thing, I think we have some video of this from when I did a piece on the paranormal cops out of Chicago. They had a reality show with these meters that say like Radio Shack, and it actually says like Ghost Hunter, and the other thing that you hear is audio recordings. I'm hearing voices on these audio recordings. What is the explanation for that kind of thing?
Yeah, a lot of times it's something garbled, and they're saying that he just said Buchanan is alive or something. These are EVPs, and when we ask them to actually correlate an EVP to some actual information, no one could do it. It's all just interpretation of weird sounds.
Like the ink.
Now, I will say this. He is right about that part. what I mean is, now there is some EVPs that are just directly clear the word. I mean, there is. But there are some where, and you're like, oh, he said, get the fuck out, get the fuck out. And then the other guy goes, oh, I hear that too. Because you already planted a saying into some of the gobble stuff. So that part he's saying is true. That happens all the time. Hey guys, What the Flock TV is one of the good guys. He has a great channel. He actually been on my channel a few times, probably about three, four times. This guy does, if you like shows about research, I'm not using the word conspiracy, none of that kind of stuff. But if you like a channel that does a lot of great research on the stuff he shows, this is your guy. He does a lot of fantastic research. Everything he shows, he's done research on. So he just has to put something out there just to put something out there. He puts something out there that he researches on. So he's an awesome, awesome guy, and I love his channel.
A lot you see the face because that's kind of how our brain
exactly.
is
And different people will get different words out of these recordings. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some examples that we want to get to. Tell us about the actress who experienced 3 weird incidents in her West Hollywood apartment in 2010.
Okay, so this woman was freaking out. She had just moved into this old apartment building, and all these, let's call her Angelina. I'm not going to talk about her last name, but she was seeing all these weird things. 3 things happened. Unidentified liquid in the middle of her kitchen floor, which had no source, no leaks, nothing anywhere near it. Then the light diffuser in her kitchen fell out of its frame just on its own. No one was anywhere near it. And then she was smelling these weird odors that were permeating the apartment. Again, no known source of it. So she calls us up. She's like, I just moved in here. I'm ready to leave again. Can you help us? We went over there with just some simple tools. We measured the frame that was holding up the light diffuser. It was 1/8 of an inch larger than the thing itself. So it was like a 16th was hanging onto this thing. Anytime a door opened or there was some vibration, the thing fell on its own. Number 1 solved. The pool in the middle, this clear liquid in the middle of the floor, first of all, we checked it just to make sure it wasn't like vodka or gin or something. Sometimes that brings you a ghost. And I looked down and I put my face on the floor, and I learned that from a Columbo episode. He's always putting his face on the floor. And I found this little tiny rivulet, dry riverbed of where this pool came from. We pulled out the refrigerator and found out that the coils were frosting on the back. It was cycling on and off. It would melt, make a lake, and then the river would go away.
Yeah.
So we didn't find out what happened with the odor until we left. The manager of the building came running out afterward. I think he was thinking we had all these cameras, we were shooting a commercial or something. And she said, we asked her, why would there be any reason for apartment 14 having a weird odor? And she said, well, 13 was painted the other day, so that's probably what you were smelling.
All right, 2 more cases to go.
And the only thing he's really doing is I mean, he is right to a point where you do got to do proper research. I mean, really proper research. I mean, when I look as a paranormal team, we go out, you do got to debunk. You got to try to debunk everything that you can. You really do. Trying to find solutions on why you smell something. Like they said, find out there's a painting done in the next room. That's good to know. Because when you start debunking every single thing, and when you can't debunk anymore, and what is left of what you have, then you could come out and kind of, give a good answer. Do you think this ghost is haunted? You just got to do your proper research, But you can tell that this guy's job is one thing, like a troll. He wants to be the troll. He wants to be. You could tell if he went to a place that he had no answer for, no big answer. He's never going to fully admit it. That's the problem that we have with some skeptics. It's good to be a skeptic. It's good to have a skeptic. But not to the point where it's going to judge your own judgment on the information that is given to you. That's the problem. Let's hear a little bit more from this guy.
Go through real quick. In 2002, a couple of writers in Hollywood Hills saw a demon at the end of their bed, and they weren't sleeping, so.
Well, it was a question about whether they were probably had a waking dream. And what was weird about this, a lot of people have waking dreams and see ghosts and Martians and all sorts of things in their bedroom. What was weird about this is they said it was the same thing at the same time. That's very unusual. So we went there and we interviewed them. We separated them in 2 different bedrooms and filmed the interviews and asked them about what happened. And it turned out that they really didn't see the same thing. There were serious details about their descriptions that were different. And we found out that the husband was on a heart medication, known side effect, hallucinations.
And finally, let's get to this historic Mackenzie House case. And
again, this guy, you're absolutely right. He's just totally dismissed it. He is dismissing everything, and there was probably some information that both gave that were like, oh, that's okay, and he's not going to mention it. He's only going to mention the negative because he's already shown that that's going to be his thing. I'm the skeptic. I'm going to prove everybody's wrong. Nothing wrong to debunk your own research. But he's kind of a hardcore, Let's hear a little bit more. This is kind of fun.
Toronto?
Mackenzie House is a 200-year-old house in Toronto, Canada, once owned by the first mayor of Canada. And people kept reporting hearing these clanking sounds and these rumbling sounds and ghosts walking up and down the stairs. So our guy, Joe Nickel, in 1972, went there. You have to just show up sometimes. And he interviewed the caretakers of the house. And then he went next door to Macmillan Publishing, also an old building, and talked to the super there. And it turned out that Macmillan next door had a parallel staircase just next to a very small gangway, and the sounds of the night crew walking up the stairs was transferring over to the haunted house, and all sorts of sounds rumbling in the basement, and even when they fired up the heating system, you could hear it next door.
So before we let you go, is there any case you've heard that you're like, I can't explain that? Like, that does sound weird.
Well, there's lots of cases that we just don't have enough information to make a proclamation about, but listen, most of these cases have regular, prosaic, scientific explanations, and you shouldn't get worked up.
What do you do?
This guy can't even answer that question. And he probably had one of those kind of cases that you can't explain. But he dances around the question. That's the problem with this kind of a skeptic. He is not going to be honest. I'm sure he went to a case that he couldn't explain. I mean, listen, we can debunk all we want. There are people that have been on some cases that got out of nowhere. Scratches started to happen. Hold on a second. It's good to debunk your own theories. It's how you grow. We shouldn't be scared of being wrong. And that's
about you've attended.
And that's 100% true too. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But when you're right, you're right. I know it's a broken record when I always keep saying, are spaceships from outer space real? Out of 100 photos of a spaceship, you only need one out of 100 to make it real. Only one. You don't need all 100. So if you go to 100 haunted houses and 99 of it turns out they're fake and debunked, but you only need one to prove the existence of ghosts. Only one. And unfortunately, there are people that wants something to believe so much, they are willing to hear this gobble sound and make it like it sound the word. There are people like that. I'm actually going to be. I can't tell people where I'm going, but I am actually going to be involved in a paranormal research. I'm going to be involved. I got invited. Finally got invited to one. And so I'm going to be going to a certain haunted place. Can't tell you what it is. It's going to be secret. And the thing is, when I'm going there, I'm letting you guys know. When I'm going, I'm not bringing in toys, tools. No, it's going to be me and the area. It's going to be me there. I don't want infrared for me. I do have a EVP, little thing, but no, I'm just going to be me. Just me. Me and the element. I don't want toys with me. I want to know it. I don't want to assume there's something haunted there just because a device that I have. It's good to have devices, don't get me wrong. But on this case that I'm going to, I'm not bringing no device. Because I want to say it's haunted from me and my experience and not with the toys that I have. Actually, I don't even have a lot of toys. I only got an EVP. I can't afford one of those special cameras and all that. I mean, I got a Canon camera. Did I freeze? Oh, I thought I froze for a second. I got a Canon camera I can't even use as a video cam here because it shuts off every 30 minutes. I'm the one who bought the wrong Canon camera. Actually, somebody bought it for my birthday. The only one that shuts off after 30 minutes. I can't even use it as a freaking camera. Here, let me see what he says here. We only see 1% of the light spectrum, and I bet we hear different too. People don't want to think they're not top of the food chain. Yeah. Oh, what is this? Amber, I appreciate your advice you were giving me yesterday. Thank you. My computer froze up. The end, I couldn't respond. Hey, I think we helped some people out yesterday. Amber, I want to thank you, Amber, for when that one guy had questions about his haunting that he was going on, and you stepped in, and we all stopped the show a little bit, kind of helped this one guy talking about his paranormal thing he's going on, and I think that was awesome. That was teamwork. I wish we had more people coming in having some paranormal or something or UFOs, and they're coming in to tell us a little bit. I fucking would love that. I would love that. But beyond that, guys, I think it's time. I think I'm done with this skeptic guy. Like I said, I'll have the link to every video that I show after the show. The reason I do that, because I don't want people to watch these videos before the show, because then you probably don't need to watch, right? Why would you need to watch if you ever seen the video? I know you're not watching to see this handsome guy. All right. I will check my TikTok, and I apologize that I'm not an expert all the way on TikTok and Instagram and Facebooks and all that, and I do not check messages on those as much as I should. I check more messages on Instagram versus other ones, but I'll start checking my messages on TikTok and stuff, so I will. And you look happier. Hey, I have fun. This is my baby. I love looking at videos, having fun, talking with you guys. This is what I love. I love giving my opinion and your opinion. So if I look happier, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That means a lot, That's awesome. That's awesome. This is a psychic warns NASA. Let me see here. Psychic warns NASA of alien invasion after discovery of unknown objects in the Milky Way. Okay. Let's see what the psychic knows. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I will be checking it out.
Named Uri Geller contacted NASA claiming that aliens are preparing for a mass.
And guys, I love getting news stories from perspective from other countries, not just here in America, because I like to hear, even though sometimes people say, well, there's a little bit of a language barrier, but you got to work through the language barrier. You know, sometimes it's just fun listening to stories of news from other countries on the subjects that we all like. So, just so you guys know.
Landing and might soon invade the Earth. He urged to start deciphering their messages. Uri Geller warned of the looming invasion through an Instagram post where he shared a picture of an interterrestrial object and wrote a small note alongside it while tagging NASA. Uri Geller claimed that a team of scientists who were tracking radio waves have discovered something unusual in the space that releases a giant burst of energy 3 times an hour. It's unlike anything astronomers have seen before, he wrote. Uri further claimed that the energy is connected to alien intelligence. Concluding his note, Uri warned that aliens are preparing for a Mars landing soon and wrote, "Start deciphering their messages." According to a report by the Daily Star, the 75-year-old illusionist suspected that the
I do see in the chat that somebody wrote, Heger is still trying to make himself important. He's been a fake psychic for half the century. Listen, 80% of psychics are fake. Flat out are fake. The ones who try to use it more for like TV and news, big time and all that, those are usually your fakes. I mean, true. You know, it's fun. But it's listen. I know this guy is bullshit. Okay? I have friends who are psychics and mediums, and I know they're the real deal. But when you start saying there's stuff in the Milky Way and like, wow, you must have some kind of superpower because you're going beyond Earth. You're going across the galaxy. I mean, I only know one Jedi that did that. Luke Skywalker, right? At the worst Star Wars movie ever made, Episode 8, where he mined him body to the end of that movie, so they shoot lasers and he wasn't there, and then he dies. You know? So I know this guy is fake, but I still love these stories.
Scientists who discovered the energy source 4,000 light years away may have incidentally come across the aliens. Describing the energy source, astrophysicist at Curtin University in Australia, Dr. Natasha Hurley, told Daily Star that during their observation, the object kept appearing and disappearing over a few hours. She further said that she believes it to be an ultra-long period magneta, which is not far from our planet. She added that it's a type of slowly spinning neutron star that has been predicted to exist theoretically. Last year in December, Uri Geller had told The Sun that he was confident about the existence of extraterrestrials and had claimed that aliens would invade Earth not in hundreds or thousands of years, but as soon as within 60 to 75 years.
I'm sorry. I completely agree with you people. That is a fraud and a half. Fucking put 2 spoons on. Fuck spoons, man. I'll just put on my sunglasses, man. I could do that too. Here, let me see here. Hold on. So I got something where I could do that too. Here, I'll do this. Here, let me take this off like he did. Instead of using that, I'll just use I'll use the voodoo doll and this. That like a fucking alien. I mean, it's but you know, I love it. I love it still. I love it. Listen, I can't tell you what's fucking out there. You know, with the people are seeing with these satellites and all that. I'm not running none of these satellites where I can see that far out, right? I don't know, but hey, they're still fun, right? They're still fun, you know. Now this next one is in basically most of it is in another language. You know, like I said, it's not about the language. It's about the picture. So this is this one's called UFO spotted over Junagadh and Jamnagar. Now, news update. Now this is most of this will be in another language. It doesn't matter about the language. It's about the footage. All right. Not everything has to be here from America. Okay, doesn't have to be. So let's check this out.
Back in, there's some latest news coming in. Last night, an unidentified object was spotted over Junagadh, Dwarka and Jamnagar districts of Gujarat. Now, the authorities are investigating what the matter is, what the object might have been, but those are the visuals that we are running on our screen right now. This incident pertains to last night when an unidentified object was spotted over Junagadh, Dwarka and Jamnagar districts of Gujarat. Janak is with us on the broadcast. Janak, क्या details हैं preliminary जांच में अभी तक अगर कुछ सामने आया हो तो?
देखिए ये दरअसल कल रात को 8:30 बजे से लेकर 9 बजे के बीच.
I gotta pause it for a second. Bigfoot Nine is gonna go see a movie called X tonight. I'm going to movies tonight too, Connor. It's between X and there's actually another horror movie called Huna, something like that, with the actors who used to be on Grey's Anatomy. So it's a toss-up from one of those movies, and my daughter wants to go tonight, so it's probably not going to be X because the movie's about making porn, and my daughter's 14. So, and she always go to horror movies with me. So I take my daughter horror movies. So we'll probably go see that other one, Hina, Ichan. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but it's the ex-girl. It's the Asian woman from used to be on Grey's Anatomy. So I'm going to see that one tonight.
में अलग-अलग जगहों पर अलग-अलग लोगों ने इस आसमानी जो चीज जो रोशनी वाली उसको देखा. अब ये आप जूनागढ़ से लेके द्वारिका तक का जो पूरा बेल्ट है उस बेल्ट में ये देखने को मिला. ऐसे में लोगों ने वीडियो भी अपने कैमरे में शूट किए. अब
what he's saying is Gypsy Road was just here. He changed his name to Paranormal Highway, and he caught this footage all himself. So they're talking about me. I don't know if you guys know that. They're talking about how good looking I am, and they're appreciating me for showing their footage. You know, so they're talking good stuff about me.
ये जो घटना सामने है उसके बाद हमने कई साइंटिस्ट से बात की, तो ऐसे में बाकी सारी चीजों का वो इनकार कर रहे हैं कि कोई यूएफओ पूरे वर्ल्ड को.
Beyond that, guys, what do you guys think? You think that's something? Yeah, Justin. That's why I'm probably leading on the other movie. If my daughter wasn't going, it was going to be the movie X. But yeah, I can't take it. Can't speak Hindi. You can't speak Hindi? We don't have nobody in the chat that can speak Hindi? I'll bring you on the show and you could interpret for me. But beyond that, you guys think that could be the real deal? I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I can never say don't know, you know. But one thing I have said, that is some crazy footage. But one thing I have said, videos from Hindi in Indonesian in that area, they make some fantastic fucking videos where those videos look freaking real. They do some good job manipulating cameras and stuff. So that is the part. I was asking if you did, mate. Looks like a handful of Starlink satellites starting their separation, all going the same speed and constant direction. That's awesome. That's the kind of stuff I want people to put in the chat. That kind of stuff like that. You know, possibilities. That is, you know, I like that. That's awesome. Because at the end of the day, you really don't know, you know. But I just know a lot of videos from this part of the country. They fucking love making their videos. And I think a lot of Hollywood should hire these people because they know how to make some shit that looks real for a penny of a dollar. Indonesia has a lot of weird shit flying around. They do. I love their videos, man. I have a kick out of their videos. I'm not going to sit here and say they're all real and stuff, but I won't. But, you know, what's she saying?
And there are in the space a lot of projects which are going on, and because of that there is a scientific explanation for what really happened and not all the speculations you hear around whenever a visual like that emerges. With that, it's a wrap on this edition.
You know, that's the common theme, right? That everybody always says, well, there is a scientific reason behind it. You hear that so many times. Well, there's a scientific reason for that. There's a scientific reason for this. I've always told people, you can find science that proves your point, and you can find science that disproves your point. It's just whatever side you want to land on. If you want to prove a point, you're gonna put the people who are more in line of your own beliefs. You know, science is not 100%. Science is just like a guideline to get us to the point of an answer. But don't, it's just like you see all those drug commercials. Oh, this will do this. This is good for you. This is it. And then you hear another doctor about this drug. That is bad for you. That's going to do this. I recommend this. Everybody has their own recommendations. Like I said, you can find anybody and all that and all that. So beyond that, guys, we are going to move on over to the Mandela effect because we're going to be talking some Marvel. Groot. Did Stan Lee really forget that he drew Groot? What? Well, let's have some fun. Let's get into it.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. Luke, I am your father.
All right. Hey, Holmes wrote, science tells us what is, not what can be. That's a good one. That's good. I like that. That's true. Stan Lee is a bloody legend. Stan Lee is a legend. He really is a legend. So, like I said, when you come to this part of the show, it's not necessarily about if this is a real effect or a real, or a false memory. This is a lot of fun and the kind of education. There might be some stuff here that you never heard of before. So that's what I like doing about the Mandela effects is the story behind them. Not saying they're your effect or not, because everybody's memories are different in this world. Now, when you hear this story of James Gunn, James Gunn is the director who did Guardians of the Galaxy. He also the director who did the latest Suicide Squad movie, Peacemaker, one of my favorite movies of all time, Slither. James Gunn's fantastic. Now, James Gunn reveals that Stan Lee forgot that he created this character, and he's talking about the character Groot. I even saw an interview that, there's a lot of things on this one. Stan Lee has created a lot of characters. Can he remember every character? And a lot of characters. Now, he ran Marvel. He didn't create every single character in Marvel. Okay, he didn't create every character. He's involved. He's the editor. He's the boss and all that kind of stuff. So over here, one of the great joys of my life was getting to know the real Stan Lee. I wish I got to meet him and working with him on multiple occasions. He's a wonderful guy and a true role model. Outside of us, he gave to the world and me personally, creative and hard to believe. It's been 2 years since he's passed, and Mark, there's that HBO fucking guy. I fucking hate this late show guy. When I forgot the fuck his name is, when he was making fun of Kevin Smith for liking comics and liking this and calling grown men fucking children if they like comics and all that. I forgot that asshole guy who said that. And what a fucking prick. Like, oh, he's Mr. I got a bachelor degree in college. I forgot the fuck that late night guy on HBO's name is. Maybe somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about. He is just a fucking prick. Making fun of people with comics. Because you know what? Comics helps people with your imagination. One of the things that I feel like we might be lacking in this world more is, since we're more online with phones and stuff, you know, we're not picking up that old-fashioned comic book. And the comic book was great in two different ways. Some of these comic books, the artwork is just spectacular. And then the stories, and one thing, and there's always a storyline for everything. I mean, there's like a Batman for every kind of person who likes a Batman, like more of a detective Batman. There you go. You want a dark Batman? There you go. There's even the heavy metal Batman. I mean, the imagination, you know, this stuff helps kids. And look at and look what the technology has really started to even push forward. You know, George Lucas, the king of special effects being pushed over. What he did with Star Wars to push that special effects is something we have never seen before during that time. He created special effects. Now with comic books, movies, the special effects are getting just out of this world. It's pushing and pushing more, you know? And now the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, that group in that movie were not the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Actually, in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, the end scene, the extra scene with Sylvester Stallone and that crew that he had at the extra scene at the end, that was technically the original Guardians of the Galaxy group. James Gunn just picked and chose of what characters he wanted and brought them together for the movie. You know, and the question is Groot, right? How did he forget Groot? You know, and you know, is it a Mandela effect? I don't know. Maybe, right? I mean, James Gunn has been putting some Mandela effect clues in his movies, in his show Peacemaker. He brought the word bears into the show, and James Gunn has made Slither about mind control, taking over the mind and stuff. So there's bits and pieces of the belief of Mandela effect with James Gunn. Now, does that mean that Stan Lee has it? I don't know, but it's interesting. It's kind of fun to think about, right? So let's play a little game here. Let's think about now. Let's think about this. Let's have some fun, guys, for a second. Let's think about this. Everybody in the chat, okay? Let's think about this. For people who believe in that the Mandela effect, that things are changing or happening, fantastic. And there's a lot of you who don't believe in it, and that's fine. You believe whatever you want. For this exercise, we say it's real. 100% it's real. No question about it. Some things are just changing. Let's look at some theories on what's changing it. I always say, if there's a change, there's got to be a reason why. Now, the most common one that all the movies are doing now, it's gotten very popular. Multiverse. Parallel universe. Right? You just had a major one that made over $1.7 billion. The Spider-Man. The 3 Spider-Mans. Each multiverse had its own Spider-Man. That could explain easily on why the Mandela effect is real, right? Somehow you have a connection to yourself on a multiverse and you remember something different, you know? And there's been movies like that. Let's not forget Howard the Duck, the very first Marvel motion picture movie ever produced by George fucking Lucas, who's the king of Mandela effect, who is Lucas effect. That I think Mandela effect should get rid of that name and call it Lucas effect, right? Well, you're like Howard the Duck, yeah, because in the movie Howard the Duck, in the beginning, Howard the Duck was on his planet. They had like an Indiana Jones poster. I forgot what it was called. I think it was Indiana Duck or something. So everything in that world of Howard the Duck was just, instead of humans, they were ducks. That's like a multiverse. You know, duck condoms. I'm sure maybe after that movie came out, somebody probably thought, hey, maybe I can sell some condoms, call it duck condoms. So maybe that's not really a multiverse thing and all that. But Howard the Duck, you could say Batman was fucking good. Batman was fucking good. So you could say multiverse, parallel universe. Okay, I could get behind that one. Makes sense. You know, I don't know for sure that the multiverse is real or not. I haven't zapped, and you know, I forgot there was actually a cool movie. I can't remember what's it called. I think it was on Amazon Prime, where they have this mirror and they go in this mirror. They go to themselves on a multiverse and they go rob themselves, brings money back to their planet because once they come back, the other multiverse world resets itself. Go rob yourself. You know, that's kind of cool in a way. He was like Hugh Hefner in a duck version. Yep. So multiverse. That's a possibility of the Mandela effect. Let's look at another one. The Matrix. Okay. This is less likely for me. I don't think we're in a Matrix. But I don't know. Maybe the Matrix is so good that we are. I don't think we're in a Matrix. You know, we're not batteries. But if we are in a Matrix, you know, glitches of the Matrix, okay, that can make sense for the Mandela effect. Why the effect is real. Okay. Yes, the Lucas effect, good name, and be an excellent video on itself, all about the Lucas effect. Hey, listen, remember, George Lucas almost died in 1960. God, I can't remember. I actually did a video way back. He died. He almost died in a car accident. He wasn't going to be a director. He was going to be a car racer, and then it was in the hospital. Is recuperating is when he had the idea of Star Wars. You could say that he had a near-death experience, that maybe he did die or something, and then of course Star Wars movies came out. And if you look at the episode 3, 4, and 5, and then his prequels 1, 2, and 3, nothing lines up for word. I mean, it's almost the biggest Mandela effect kind of stuff in the world. So I'm just saying. So the Matrix. Now, if we are in a Matrix, then I'm fucking pissed off at the fucking Matrix. If we're in a goddamn Matrix, couldn't you throw me a fucking bone in this goddamn Matrix world? Can you, I don't know, fucking let me win a lottery or something? You know, I mean, we talk about the Matrix. The best way to make people not realize that maybe Matrix real is shut us people like up. You know, give me a bone if we're in a fucking Matrix. That's why I don't think we're in no Matrix, because they ain't never threw me a bone. Fucking always takes money away from me. Takes money away from me, the goddamn Matrix. Fuck it. In the last 3 weeks, my 2 cars broke down, right? One cost $1,500 to fix. One I got to pick up today, $800. $2,500. Fuck you, Matrix. If we're in a Matrix, fuck you. Okay? Now, I don't think we're in a Matrix. But if you think we're in a Matrix, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I'm going to be careful with this one. I know there's a lot of people who are religious, but there is a belief that in the religious world that the creator, if you're one of those people who believe that there is a creator, is the one that's making these changes that are pointing close. And if you are a religious person, you believe in the Bible, then in a lot of ways you kind of, I feel like you should believe in the phenomena word of the Mandela effect. You don't have to believe in the word. The word is just like paranormal. There's so many things about what it really means. And why I say you should believe in it, because part of the Bible is about miracles, magic, people coming back from the dead, you know? So in a religious type world, it can be. God made a change for you for some reason, made you think it. Now, for me, that's less likely for me. I don't know. For me, I don't know. I just can't see the creator, you know, God and Jesus, sitting at a poker table, smoking some cigars and say, I'm going to fuck with these people on earth. I'm going to change the Bearstein to Bearstein, or Bearstein to Bearstein. I just can't see that. You know, the Monopoly guy? Let's take away the glasses. I I just can't see that. But hey, listen. It could be 100% true. You know, shit happens, and only God knows why. God is trolling us, and yeah. I mean, I hope I'm not offending anybody. 'Cause I'm not. I'm just trying to think. I just think that's, for me, is the most less likely. It's and because one of the biggest things going on right now, one of the biggest a flavor that's going on in the Meduffa community is everybody saying everything in the Bible has been changing. I don't know. Bible's been around for over thousands of years. There's thousands of different translations. I don't know how anybody could determine that the Bible's changing as much as people saying they are. But I guess God's fucking with everybody, right? And the funny thing is about people who are saying that the Bible changes have never read the Bible themselves. Also, that's always get me. I hear these people want to be gatekeepers out there. They want to be gatekeepers. They're talking about all these changes and they're reading off all these changes. And when you ask them, they never read the Bible themselves. Why is that important? Well, if you never read it, how can you honestly say it's been a change when personally it's not been a change for you? But guys, like I said, I don't think God and Jesus is sitting around saying, let's fuck with people, let's make changes. Could be. I mean, I don't know for sure. Now, the one that I can get more behind, and this is the one that a lot of you might think, Eric, you're fucking crazy. Time travel. I think out of everything, time travel. If somehow time travel becomes possible, and we don't know what the technology is going to be in 2,000, 5,000 years. I mean, I don't know. Hey, I actually started watching the second season of Upload. I actually, in a weird, crazy way, I actually enjoyed the first Upload. So I'm actually watching the second Upload. That is almost another kind of a Matrix kind of a movie where you die, but they take your mind, your soul, and they zap it into a computer chip, whatever. And for sure. Okay. Now, if time travel, there's different theories about time travel. Even if time travel does exist, there's always thousands of different theories. And I don't know. Now, here's a theory that I've heard. And people are going to take this the wrong way. People, trust me. Right now, people are going to take it the wrong way. And I'm sure right now somebody's writing everything I'm down. He's ready to run to their gatekeeper and then shit Staley. Going to tell him, you know what Eric said? Eric said. Because there's some people in the community that don't believe that people should have an open mind and think for themselves. I hate to say it, but it's true. Okay. Time travel is a theory. When somebody goes back in time, does something, whatever that affects going forward, time will change. Kind of like Back to the Future, right? Goes back in the past and change. Now, somebody told me this theory. I'm like, okay, I can see it. A perfect person, no chemicals, no drugs, no nothing. The brain, everything is good. So when a change happens, their whole body changes just automatically with it. No different thoughts. Because of the little electrical things in the brains you hear, the currents or whatever. Everything on a normal body takes the new forward, and going forward. Now they're saying now we live in a chemical type world where everybody's taking chemicals, medication, and pills. So your brain is not working exactly the same as it should if we were never on anything. This is just theory. Because of that, when people go back in time, things go forward, your brain is not taking the full download properly. And so there's like glitches of that download. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, some people say, well, Eric, that you're saying you're calling people mental ill. I'm not calling anybody mental ill. But if time travel was possible, if somebody made a change, it is going forward, and what if your brain's not taking that download properly? What if all those medications that you've been taking and stuff that your brain's not working at 100% the way it should? Maybe when somebody told me that, it does make sense in a weird way. Now, what does that have to do with Stan Lee? Well, Marvel. I don't know if a lot of people know this. I think comic book nerds know this. You know, technically in 1996, Marvel went bankrupt. During the 80s and 90s, Marvel probably focuses on releasing collector's items, but overinflated comic books market eventually collapsed, and Marvel went bankrupt in 1996. Marvel went bankrupt. They were creating limited editions, and they fluctuated the price, and they went bankrupt. So for them to stay in business, so you can say that Marvel had a rougher time than DC has ever had because they actually went bankrupt. So to stay afloat, for Marvel to stay afloat on this, they sold rights to their superhero characters. Like Sony bought the Spider-Man stuff. And like Paramount bought like distribution rights to Captain America. Universal bought rights to the Hulk. That's why the Hulk can have its own movie on Disney, because Universal owns the right for any movie, a full movie that involves the Hulk as the main character. Hulk could be in Disney, but as a side character. He can't have his whole movie unless like Sony and Disney makes a deal. If they make a deal. Now, the story goes that all of Marvel was offered to Sony, and Sony didn't take it. Sony only wanted Spider-Man. So some people say that it's just a theory that everything was sold to Sony, and a time travel to fix the Marvel with Disney somehow. A time travel has happened that they changed the deal where this went here. I know it sounds crazy. It went here. And when that happens, there's one of the reasons why Stanley was forgetting some characters that he's made, because in one world he did make them, but in this world, because of time travel, it didn't change. And during that time, 1996, you know, there was some health issues along with Stanley. So he couldn't take the download at 100%. Now, guys, this is all theory. This is you know, come on, this is all theory. I'm not saying it is the reason why. But I'm going to say that if the Mandela effect is real, and there was a change for you, there's going to be a reason why. There has to be a reason why. And that's why not everybody has same memories. Because people in the theories, they take the downloads differently. That's why there's some channels out there that are trying to force their stuff on the people and say, you should believe in this. You have to believe in this. And then if you don't, they bomb your channel. It's happened to mine. It happened to a lot of channels. This one group is bombing every religion channels because they're mad that they're reading the Bible wrong in their mind. But then on their own show, they'll talk about that people take uploads at different times of life. Well, if you believe that, then maybe those people on the religion channels just haven't took the download yet, right? It's a crazy freaking world. So beyond that, so that could be one of the reasons why Stan Lee forgot some of his characters, like Groot. Or at the end of it, there is no effects, there is no parallel universe, there is no multiverse, no time machines, no nothing, and he just forgot like a regular person. You know, have you guys ever? I'm sure somebody woke up one day, almost forgot their kid's name. I'm sure that's happened. Or he has a bit of health issues, mentally and physically. Listen, anything's possible. After everything that I've said here, I've always say, believe what you want to believe in. Give yourself 5%, 10%, just in case another kind of truth comes out and you're not backtracking. Like I said, I don't think the religion thing and the Matrix has anything to do with the Mandela effect, but maybe, you know, people path is unique to them, but we do share a crossroad every now and then. That is well said. We all have different paths. We all have different paths. But at the end of the day, our crossroads can appear. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love doing this show, the paranormal news. I mix Bigfoot, paranormal, UFOs, Mandela effects, all on one show. There's a lot of people in the Mandela or in the Bigfoot community don't like that. They hate mixing it with UFOs and paranormal. They hate it. But I have always said that everything has a connection. Everything is a crossroad. That's why I'll do it all. I don't share roads. Well, Justin, you don't have to share a road no more. But we all can share a highway. Gypsy Road, paranormal highway. So, guys, seriously, have a great weekend. And listen, fuck the trolls. Fuck them all. Yes, I had to change my name because the trolls made a complaint about the word gypsy being a slur. I didn't have a choice. I had less than 30 days to change the name or lose my channel. And to me, the content, the people that we talk to, that's the most important part to me, is that all that. And guys, if you do like the show, you have fun. I appreciate every one of you. And let me tell you, doing these, I do. The shows on Wednesday nights are kind of easy. I can just set up a show, invite a guest on, topic, done. But doing these shows on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and Friday, believe it or not, even though they're only an hour long and stuff, it takes me about 3-4 hours to put it together. Getting the videos ready, creating the thumbnail. I do it because I love it. I have fun. And if you ever want to support the channel, you can. You don't have to. You can join the Gypsy, the paranormal highway channel. You can join, and I will be doing some private shows for that soon. I'm trying to get more people to join that. It's a good way to help support the channel. It is doing all these 3-4 hours takes a lot away, where I'm not making money out in the world, where I actually have a part-time job that I do so I could do this, and so, and then of course, StreamYard, to do this every single day, you got to buy one of those packages to be able to do hours, to do all the hours that I do, or could only give you a certain amount. So, if you want to support the channel, great. You don't have to, but you could join the paranormal family, and I will be doing some private videos behind the scenes, kind of maybe videos that maybe are copyrighted that I can't use, but I could do it through Patreon in a way, or another channel where I could do those with you. So if you guys want to support it, you can. You don't have to, but I appreciate every single one of you for being here. I love doing this. And beyond that, I'll talk to you guys all later.